Hey guys, it's your girl India Nicole, and for those of you who are new to my channel, I am a real estate agent in the Los Angeles area. So yeah, as if you or anyone you know is trying to buy, sell, or lease, definitely hit your girl up. And of course, I'm here also to be transparent about my journey because I am a new real estate agent, and I'm here, of course, to drop some gems, pretty much like let you guys know what's going on with me, how things are going, and also the process of being a newer agent. Again, I'm licensed in California, so I can only speak for California. I've never been licensed in any other state, so I cannot speak for that. And again, everything I'm talking about in the video is going off of my journey as far as being a real estate agent here in California. So, with that being said, we can get to the topic. And again, the topic that we're talking about today is the additional costs to getting started as a real estate agent. And also, I'll share like a little tip as far as what I wish I would have done differently in getting started. It would have saved me some time. But yeah, so here we go. Okay, so hidden costs. Well, not really, I don't want to say hidden costs, but it's costs that you don't realize you have to pay until you actually become an agent or become licensed. So for those of you again who saw my previous videos, I went over just like the cost to apply for your license, take your apply to take your exam, or even take your exam, not apply to take your exam, to take your exam, that cost of that. And again, if you didn't see those videos, I also have the links to those below. But yeah, so additional costs after you get started. So again, let's say you're like myself, you take your courses, you pass your courses, you apply to take your exam, you take your exam and pass it, hopefully on the first try. But if it's not the first try, don't be sad, it's okay. But yeah, so you pass your exam, you signed on with a broker who you've done research about, you're super happy with them, they're super supportive, they're helping you out a lot. Great, you're in a great place, right? So my journey, I actually went ahead and signed up to take my exam only because again, you can actually do both. So for example, after you pass your courses and it's time for you to take your exam, you can actually apply for both your sales license and to take your exam at once. And the sales license was $245. The cost to take your exam was $60. So again, you can do both at once, which is $305. And you guys, I guess I'll just get into like what I wish I would have done differently. So that's it. That's what I would have done differently. Like if I would have known that I was gonna have to wait like an additional month plus to get my license process, I would have found the money to do both. Because at the time, I'm not gonna lie, that's why I didn't do it. When I went to go apply to take my exam, I only had $60 on me at the time. I'm sorry, I had more than $60, but I just couldn't obviously do 305 at the time. I had more than $60 in my account. But long story short, that $60 was very appealing to me. So I was like, hey, I can do that right now. So I have some money left over, whatever. So, but knowing what I know now, I would have simply just waited, or I would have just found the money and just paid the 305 all at once. Because again, when you do that, you're saving yourself at least like 4 to 5 weeks of processing time for your application, because that's about how long it takes. Now, of course, I know what you're thinking, like, oh, what if I get my license processed before I can actually take my exam? Obviously, you can't have a sales license without first passing your exam, right? So the good thing about that is once you, let's say you do both at once, right? You go ahead and have the 305 to apply to take your exam and have your sales license process at the same time. That's great. Now, for those of you who saw my previous video, you already know it took me 2 months from the time I actually applied to the time they actually processed my exam request. So it took about 2 months for me to even be able to choose a date to take my exam. 2 months from the time I applied for it. I applied for it end of May, heard back very end of, like last week of July is when they finally said, hey, you can go ahead and sign up to take your exam now. A whole 2 months later. So, but again, California is a big state, so obviously it's not going to be super quick. I get that. But long story short, again, had I actually done both, which was apply for my sales license and apply to take my exam, then that means when I took my exam, because I actually decided to take it a week later, so August 1st, and passed on the first try, yay, turn up. But pretty much what I wish I would have known is like, again, so once you pass your exam, if your sales license is already processed or already has been initiated, that cuts back at least like 4 to 5 weeks, because once you pass your exam, and then you've already had that sales license process, you don't have to wait the extra, like for me at least, 5 weeks. Because how it worked was I passed my exam August 1st. I actually mailed in my application for my sales license August 14th. And 2 days ago, you guys, it's September 22nd. 2 days ago, you guys, that's when they finally said, hey, we processed your sales application to have your license. I mean, obviously better late than never, but still, it's like that's 5 weeks I could have done without waiting, because it would have, I'm sorry if you think about the 2 weeks I waited to even mail it in. Because again, I mailed it in August 14th, 2 weeks after I passed my exam. So had I already had everything like done, that actually would have been about like 7 weeks or like 8 weeks. I could have like saved myself and just kind of been on board. And for those of you who are wondering like what I'm talking about, like how do you save yourself some time? Does it really matter? It matters because if you don't have a DRE number as a real estate agent, and again, I'm only speaking for the state of California, if you don't have a DRE number, then you can only do, you're very limited as far as what you can do as far as advertising yourself as a real estate agent. Like for example, let's say I would have gotten a client right away and like had a listing, I wouldn't have been able to technically advertise that listing as a real estate agent. I would have had to have like somebody on my team do it, or like I would have had to do it through my team member, because again, you need to have your DRE number. That's pretty much what people use to know that you are truly a real estate agent. If not, you can be considered like fraud, you know, and you, or you can also be considered just non-compliance of the DRE, and you can also get in trouble for that as well. So again, by me not having that information right away, I was limited to like advertising, or even kind of like really like kind of like advertising myself as a real estate agent in general. Like, I mean, obviously I can do like certain like small posts as long as I'm not like, you know, advertising like a listing or a house or something like that, but still it's like there's so many like little loopholes and things like that that you kind of like if you're in the state of California, your DRE number is key. Like you need to have that pretty much at all times. So I know online people don't always use it, which I think like as long as you're not advertising like or saying, hey guys, I'm a real estate agent, come work with me, da, 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 da. Like as long as you're not like kind of just blatant with it, you might be able to kind of like, you know, I don't know. Like I said, there are a lot of loopholes with that. But in a nutshell, if you live in the state of California and you represent yourself as a real estate agent, your DRE number is key. And like the thing about it is when you're online, you can either choose to have it like in your post, you can have it in the caption of your post, or like for example, if you're a real estate agent and you have an Instagram page, you can have that DRE number somewhere on your Instagram page, like in your bio, so that way people at least know it. So that way you're in compliance. So that way someone can go and say, okay, there's a DRE number. I can look them up and say, hey, this person is an actual real estate agent. But yeah, so that again, you guys, took me an additional 5 weeks of waiting time. So. And also, once you go ahead and get your DRE number, that's when you can go ahead and join a board of realtors, and also you can go ahead and sign up for the MLS. Now, for those of you who don't know who are not agents, the MLS is pretty much like a nicer, more advanced tool that us real estate agents use whenever we have like listings, or whenever like, you know, we want to look for something for a buyer. We usually go through the MLS because it's just a pretty much more, I guess the way to describe it, you can look at it as like a way more detailed platform, similar to like Zillow or like Realtor.com, similar to that, but of course it's more detailed and advanced because it's actually going off the agent's end and not the consumer's end. But yeah, so you can't sign up for the MLS or join a board of realtors without a DRE number. So like I said, I finally have mine, yay. So I'm actually gonna be joining the MLS and the signing up for the board of realtors. Now, for those of you who are wondering, okay, where's the cost and all that? Signing up for MLS and joining the board are not free. Now, luckily, how it works in California, you can actually sign up for them both at once in one combined cost. So I believe it's $1,200 for the year. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but it's like $1,200 for the year. But depending on when you sign up in the year, like for me, it's September right now. So of course I'm signing up toward the tail end of the year. So obviously I'm going to get a prorated amount. So that's great that they do that. So you don't have to pay that full amount if you sign up midway or toward the end of the year. So because they will prorate it based off when you sign up for it. Now, again, guys, that's not free. It's another cost that you don't really realize you have to kind of accrue when that's the cost that you don't realize you have to accrue until you're actually an agent. But again, if you do your research before this, you pretty much kind of have an idea of the cost. But again, the research I did, I wasn't able to actually see that cost. But like I said, no biggie, because like, you know, I'm 100% passionate about what I do as an agent. So, you know, I'm excited and happy to sign up for anything that's going to help me advance my career, and obviously something that I'm going to need to even do my career. So that's great. But again, guys, that's another cost that you do have to kind of realize that, you know, when you're becoming a real estate agent, you have to have some money put aside. You may not have a lot at the time, I get it, because that's the whole reason why you even want to be an agent, right? Is to make more money and obviously to help people. So it's like, you definitely want to have that money put aside, and you definitely want to go ahead and do your due diligence whenever you sign up with a broker or like or anyone, just to kind of realize what all the costs are going to be, because each broker also charges different monthly fees too. Like if you're somebody who's going like with a super higher end broker, they're probably going to charge you more a month because they deal with higher end clients and they probably sell higher end homes. But if you're somebody like who goes with like a broker that kind of sells everything, the cost may not be as much. So yeah, definitely do your due diligence in that. And yeah, like I said, if you're in the Los Angeles area or surrounding, or even like another county that's next to Los Angeles, definitely hit your girl up. If you're looking to buy, sell, or lease, like I can definitely help you out. I'm very passionate about what I do, and my client is always going to come first. Helping them is key in my eyes. Again, not every agent thinks that way, but I do. But yeah, so I have my contact information below, and also again, if I dropped a gem for you, or if you learned something new today, or just want to engage with me, I do have my contact information below, and also please like and subscribe. But yeah, until next time, it's your girl.